All right, ladies and gentlemen, this week we've got week number 5 of the NFL. Our picks against the spread continue. I would like to kind of bring up what's been going on. I mean, currently Dez sitting at 4-6, had a whopping 1-4 last week, 1 victory, 4 losses. I mean, a lot of those picks just didn't pan out for him, and I'd like to get his reaction on, some of these interesting ones. The Giants he picked Monday night. I'm not sure what's going on there. The he picked the Colts, which was a fantastic pick, actually. I'm gonna give him a lot of credit there. And then the Miami Dolphins. I'm not really sure what's going on here. Does 1-4? You're officially 4-6. What's going on here?
Yeah, good to be back on. It's definitely a tough week. It's not feeling well. Maybe that was what was going in with my picks. I just kind of picked them without really not with the good headspace and everything. But the Giants one on Monday night was probably the worst one. I thought, Daniel Jones and Dayball were going to come in. It's against the Seahawks team who have been pretty decent, but kind of not great against the run. I was hoping Saquon would be on the field, but he didn't play. But man, that was a bad pick. But you're coming at me, and I wasn't on the podcast last week or on the picks on the video last week to defend myself. But you had that awful pick saying, I believe in Justin Fields. They're gonna cover the spread against the Chiefs, and they got absolutely manhandled that week.
Yeah, I mean, the Bears. I was hoping for that 12.5 one to fall through. It was kind of unfortunate. I think it was pretty close throughout the game, won't lie to you. I was sitting on the couch and was pretty happy with that result. I also had a whopping mistake last week with the Patriots, +6. Man, I was on board for them throughout the entire week. And I've been picking them now consistently. And I might tease a little bit something here. I might say on that train, you never know. But yeah, tough week. But I'll take the 2 losing weeks. 2-3, 2-3. We're both tied 4-6. Let's jump into week 5. I think we got to right the ship. I'm not sure about your end, but this is where I'm going to take over here and officially head to the top of the leaderboard for week number 5. All right, throw me your number 1 pick against the spread.
The number 1 pick I'm going to go with right now against the spread this week for week 5. We'll kick it off. The Baltimore Ravens -4 taking on the Steelers in Pittsburgh. It's looking like Kenny Pickett might not be playing, so they might have to be going to Mitch Trubisky, and this offense already is horrendous to start with. They got smoked against the Houston Texans last week, which was a pick that Al thought, the Steelers, they've got to get this, But CJ Stroud and that Texans team is doing a lot of great things. But Lamar had a great week last week, 2 rushing touchdowns against the Browns. He also found Andrews in the end zone twice. So the Browns didn't have Deshaun Watson, but Lamar is looking like the Lamar. On another note, fantasy people who drafted him, he's looking like he's having that season again. So taking the Ravens here.
What happens if Kenny Pickett does play?
Still doesn't matter to me. They just played the like I said, the Texans, and they got smoked, and I'm pretty sure Pickett got sacked 3 times in that game. So their offense has nothing going. Najee Harris has been tough spot. He can't get anything going. They got Jalen Warren. I mean, they don't have Deontay Johnson, who could be a nice mix to help the offense. It's just George Pickens right now and other guys. But I think this smells Ravens. Big game again, coming off another big win last week as well.
That's smelling the Ravens. I mean, they're very interesting. This is a divisional game. They always play each other close in Pittsburgh. And he's sticking with the -4 for the Baltimore Ravens. Interesting. Don't have them on my board here. And for my number 1 pick, I'm rolling with. Again, this could be a mistake. There is some confidence though. And I'm rolling against the Chiefs once again. Vikings +4.5. And in Minnesota. And the Chiefs have been in and out. They had a great game against the Bears, struggled against the Jets, so a lot of moneymakers are like bounce back week for the Chiefs, right? To play pretty well. Vikings defense not very good, but 4.5 at home is just a lot of points, dude, to just give the Chiefs afternoon game. It's not like prime time or anything. Well, Kirk Cousins is going to sit in there and throw muffins out there to the opposing team. So I'm going to roll with the Vikings here. I think they can cover a little late field goal to touchdown. They probably won't win. Not going to pick them outright. I mean, that would be a little ridiculous. But Vikings plus 4.5. What do you think?
I don't know. This Vikings team hasn't been up to what we expected. I mean, last year they've been ups and downs, and like you said, their defense is horrendous. So it could be tough. I mean, this is a pretty big game for this Vikings team who's been up and down all season. So I mean, going up against a decent defense in the Chiefs. I mean, they got tested last week by Zach Wilson, who no one would have thought that, but that front seven with Chris Jones and it can smell Cousins getting sacked and early pressure, and really to see how Madison and Jefferson, if he can have a big game. But if I was, I probably wouldn't go touch anything near this game.
Oh, all right, fair enough. All right, give me your second pick here.
Second pick, we're gonna ride also with this team. You know, last week it was a tough week. I think they actually might have covered the spread, or they might have lost. It might have been close. But I'm going with the Colts plus 1.5, hosting the Titans. Anthony Richardson, he is that dog. Everyone was like, "Oh, this kid could be special," and he's showing it throughout the first four games of the season.
God, you're such a Richardson fanboy.
He threw for 200. I mean, he is on my fantasy, but we won't get into that. But he's doing everything. He threw for 200 yards last game. They were down 23-0, and he kind of helped push that offense to get back in the game. They did lose in overtime, but man, what can you not like about Richardson? And Taylor's back on the field now. He practiced today, so maybe he could potentially play this weekend against the Titans. So you factor that in, like how scared the Colts can be offense. I think they could easily contest that spread as well, plus 1.5.
I'm actually a fan of that pick. I don't really know what the Titans are. We picked them, both actually picked them last week or 2 weeks ago against the Browns, and they freaking laid 3 points. So, You know what I mean? I just don't really understand what's going on there. Derrick Henry could kind of ball. He's balled against Indianapolis before. I do like that pick, though. Colts plus 1.5, but I don't have it on my board. I don't. I'm not really sure. Yeah, I just didn't like it enough, because now I'm going to roll to the other side. Another underdog. I'm rolling with the St. Louis Rams. Plus 4.5 at home against Philly. Same kind of situation here. I think the Rams are a little bit underrated. Cooper Kupp might be coming back. You've got Puka Nacua. I mean, come on. And Tutu Atwell. The run game, Kyron's a little bit questionable, I will say. Not sure what's going on there. If Kyron can't go, this line will definitely move to the Eagles' way, maybe by a half point or a point. But at home, some people say LA doesn't really have a home for the Rams. Maybe a lot of Philly fans will be there. But, I mean, Washington played Philly close. I mean, come on. The Rams can play them close as well offensively. Defensively, they're not bad. Aaron Donald's still there. And the crew, plus 4.5. Los Angeles Rams. I mean, this stuff.
I like that.
This stuff's gold, man.
I wouldn't say gold, but it's up there. That's definitely a good pick. I would definitely go with that one too if I was going it, but it's not on my board this week. But Eagles, yeah, like you said, they had a tough game. It was too close with the Commanders. No one would have thought that, but I don't know. This Eagles defense is pretty good, and we can see. I mean, he's questionable, I think, at the moment with his hip injury. So how that's going to factor. Already, Kyron's in the backfield, but
I can already hear the announcers. Stafford to Cooper Kupp touchdown, and they cover the spread.
I would love that. I mean, like I said, for situations other than the spread, fantasy-wise, as I'm a Kupp owner, but we won't get into that. But I don't know, that's also another tough one. I can see why you're leaning towards the Rams though on that one.
All right, let's keep it moving.
Let's keep it moving. I'm also gonna ride with another underdog. We're gonna go with the Cardinals +3. They're hosting the Bengals.
All right.
This offense and this team in general has just surprised, I think, a lot of NFL fans out there. Josh Dobbs and Connor and all the things that they're doing in that offense. And this Bengals team is Burrow. It just doesn't look like he's 100%. They just keep pushing it each week, and I don't know why they don't just take a week where it's like, all right, let's just get you fully healthy. Maybe it's 2 weeks to get you fully healthy and run around things, but like each week each team knows, hey, he's not 100%. Let's try to get as many guys to him, getting sacked. And you saw it at the end of the game last week, this Sunday. Chase was like, I'm open, man. Like, just throw the ball to me. But if Burrow's getting pressured all the time, he can't even get the ball out. So I think the Cardinals cover the spread with +3 easily. Bengals have just looked atrocious to start the season.
I actually do like that as well. I had that on my radar. Didn't roll with it. Cardinals +3 is good. I'm just a little worried as well. I mean, they've had a big hype train happening for the past few weeks now. And will it crash down a little bit? You never know. Is this how it's supposed to go down? This team's actually better than everyone thought. You know, it's tough. I do like that pick though. Second straight bet. I'm a fan. Interesting. You might be on the come up here.
Don't forget, week 1 we were off to a good start. You know, going 3-2, or not 3 and yeah, no 3-2.
Yeah.
Second week was, you know, you have to have your down week, but now we're gonna come back to the mean regression of the mean, as you'd always like to say.
Statistics, yes.
We're gonna come back to that middle ground.
But you're kind of like a roller coaster right now. 3-2, then 1-4. I'm like, you know what I mean? Cool, calm, collected. 2-3, 2-3. Okay, not ideal, but you know, we're always level. You know, we ain't going on these roller coasters out here. People can rely on good picks, you know, from our side. We take pride in that. So with that being said, the third pick. I gotta do it. For the 3 straight weeks in a row, New England Patriots on my mind. -1 against New Orleans. Why? You ready?
I'm ready.
Embarrassed the week before. Worst loss in Belichick history. Whenever a team struggles mightily, gets embarrassed, shootout, loss, massive loss, Mac Jones got benched, all the above. The team that will come back the following week has a tendency to play better. And statistically, I don't know all this, I don't know how many people actually cover the spread or win outright when you get embarrassed, but there are trends where teams get embarrassed, they come back and play better, right? So I'm rolling with Bill. They're not giving up. Just traded JC Jackson. Bill O'Brien's out here saying, Mac, very uncharacteristic. We're going to get back to the script. We're going to get back to how we play. And New Orleans is just, if not, they're worse than the New England Patriots, right? I don't think they're much better. And with Derek Carr also throwing muffins along with Mac Jones, this will be a 9-6 kind of game here, but I'm going to roll at home New England -1.
That's just another one that just is tough to go towards for me. As a Patriots fan, this team has just been not great. Like you said, Mac Jones throwing muffins everywhere, getting benched for Bailey Zappi. Yeah, Bill O'Brien can preach all day that, we're going to get back to the script, but they have no offensive line. Their run game is non-existent. They don't have really much receivers to break free for a big run or anything, break big receiving yard downfield. But I don't know. On the other side, we signed JC Jackson, but he didn't do much in Los Angeles. He signed that big contract, was injured most of it.
He only plays well for Bill.
Charger fans were ecstatic to finally get him off the roster because he just had done nothing since coming over from New England. Patriots that come back do have a good rapport of playing well when they come back. So hopefully that could be the case, especially losing a big rookie in Christian Gonzalez, who was playing great to the start of the season. Unfortunate to lose a player like that to your defense. And now with Judon, I don't know this. The Saints also got Kamara back. Yeah, last game Carr didn't play great, but he also wasn't 100% apparently. So,
well, if you were to ask me,
get cheap defense now, and now Olave, who's a big player. They've got Michael Thomas, Kamara back.
If you're asking me, Al, what's going on with this pick when you just heard Gonzalez and Judon, at least almost done for the year, if not both done for the year. And I would honestly just say no comment. We move on. To the fourth pick. Des, what you got?
For our fourth pick, we're going to go with Houston. They're dogs, +2 dogs, taking on the Falcons in Atlanta. And Atlanta just played Jaguars in London. And I don't know when Arthur Smith will come to realization that Desmond Ridder is not the quarterback. He threw a pick in the second quarter for a pick six. The first play after the pick six, he threw another interception, and he still played the rest of the game. I get it, maybe believe in your guy, but man, that offense with Desmond Ridder in there has gone nowhere. They have such star talent with Bijan, that running back, and Drake London, Kyle Pitts, all these big names, but they just can't get anything going. And then on the other side, Houston, another player, CJ Stroud, not really talked about, how is he gonna come into the NFL and gel, and him and Nico Collins, Tank Dell, and he has already 1,200 passing yards, which is, he joins, I think it was Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes, Drew Brees, and Tom Brady, Peyton Manning as the only players to do that with no interceptions in their first 4 games. So what CJ Stroud is doing in Houston and that Texan defense and the Texan team is just pretty surprising.
I mean, that was impressive. With that, I'm taking the Texans as well, +2. CJ, Nico, Tank Dell, Dameon Pierce. The list continues. Defense is pretty good. I'm running with it. Falcons don't trust. Even though it's away in Atlanta, I love the Texans as well. I'm hoping this isn't a trap game for Houston. Where they just kind of play a little bit below their standard that they've been playing pretty well now for the past 3 weeks. Okay, to end it, this is the lock of the week from King Al's perspective. Giants +11 against Miami. And
Giants
+11. So again, I'm running with the same thing here. Underdog +11 is a lot of points. Is the most points in the entire week this week of all the games. And the Giants just got embarrassed. Saquon's coming back. Again, Miami could run roughshod over here. This is the same exact bet as the Chiefs Bears. But if the Giants can score a few touchdowns, which they're totally capable of, backdoor cover, boom, +11, run it.
Nope, don't do that. I'm on the opposite side. The Dolphins -11. They're coming off a big loss. Did you watch that Monday night game? Daniel Jones just, even Dayball, they did a slow-mo of him. It's like, what are you doing? You're not even reading the defense. He just was throwing balls, expecting it to be a receiver to be there, and everyone was picked off. I don't know, this Giants team, yeah, I guess if they get Saquon back, it maybe helps, but their offensive line is already banged up. They were banged up going into this game. When they did the QB sneak, the tush push in the 4th and 1, and they got stopped. Apparently, a lineman and a tight end got injured on that play. I don't know. The Dolphins, it screams they easily another big 40+ win game where they win 40-20 or something like that.
It's a risk. I'm taking the Giants +11.
It is a risk, but I think the Dolphins have a big bounce back game, especially after losing to the Bills. Everyone expecting them to put up numbers against Buffalo, and they got
if you're going with that
out against a divisional opponent.
Well, if that's your perspective, what about a bounce back game for New York? You picked New York last week. Come on.
Nope. Now. I saw it with my 2 own eyes, and I thought that would come back. No, it's nope.
Daniel Jones, Saquon Barkley, Darren Waller, and the crew put up some numbers. They match +11 at least. Won't go in outright. Can't go a little too frisky there. Des goes Dolphins -11. Those are week 5 picks against the spread. And we're both 4-6. Will someone go on their winning ways after week number 5? We will find out come next week.